This is Music Live with Jack.
Tell me what you say. Oh, all my fantasies. So let me be alive. Let me be alive. train and I wanna run away. It's easy if you, oh my God, life is falling out the back of my mind. Light is spilling and I don't lie. Love is wasting on my toes again, my friend, don't lie to me, 'cause I can tell you what to see. Lead me home and give me love to spell above my mind. Lately I've been trying to tell you stories I don't know, but down the hole, let me. It's easy if you forget what room you're standing in. I'm feeling it out. Oh, don't tear me down, 'cause I'm full of plaster and my hounds nipping at my heels. Now where's my crown? 'Cause I wanna feel the gold etched upon my eyes. Lord, I'm around, but easy now, don't trip the wire. I'm on fire, let me hold you to the ground. It make me understand. I'm no one, nobody. I'm no one, nobody. And everything I see is making me so damn depressed. I wanna rest my heart upon your breast. And everything I see is green and submarine, and it's turning me back into fantasy. Do you understand? feeling kinda out of bounds. And I'm feeling out of bounds. Where is my mouth?
It's on your face.
Where is my mind? Where is my where is my life? Where is my wife? Where are the lights? I wanna put my heart in a bag. I wanna dress my bodies in rags. I wanna take my heart and send it away. I wanna get on my knees. Oh, I wanna turn my heart away. I wanna clench my hands together and pray for something to change me. Oh, pray for something to rearrange me.
How you feeling?
I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack is the singer of our theme song, which you may have heard. Jack has done a cover of the Young Lean song, per request of the Sam Tree organization.
Yeah, they paid me upwards of, I believe was the number about 20K on that one. Yeah. Yeah, and that was for a friend too. It was a discounted rate. Well, you know, those were just that was just a little improv to fill up some time, and I just want to thank you for having me here and letting me occupy your space and hang out on your bench and drink your water. And I took some things as well. I put some things in my bag in my pocket that I assume are okay to take, just like gadgets and some spare change I saw.
It's pretty good. So I was all just riffing.
That was just riffing, yeah.
Good freestyler. Good improver.
Noise, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I like riffing. I like, you know, just trying to improv stuff. I don't know if everything always comes together, but usually there's a couple ideas that stick around.
Do you remember that theme song?
not quite. I feel like I need to. How does it go again? I wonder where you at. Wonder where you gone. Girl inside the mask of yours. Just take it off and let it show. Love is hard to find, I know. Sometimes life's just a joke, but you stay inside the joke. And you play it like a show. Oh no, 'cause you see me up, see me down, and you see me rise and come up again. So watch the world in flames, mess with a break, but not your name. And I wonder where I wonder where you go. Girl inside that mask of yours, just take it off and let it show. Love is hard to find, I know. Sometimes life's just a joke, but you stay inside the joke and you play it like a show. You see me up, you see me down, and you see me rise and come up again. Don't have to watch the world in flames. The mask will break, but not your name. Let me find my home, and let me be alive. Let me find my own words to say. Man to be, path to pave. Don't know which way. Don't know what I don't know. But I let the sunlight lead the way. I let my own self make mistakes. But I know I find the victim in myself. Know how to go real with my face. Oh, I just wanna be the light. Lord, please let me reflect your light. It's not about me. It's not about me. That's exactly what I'm trying to run from. That's exactly what I'm trying to run from. I just wanna be part of a bigger picture than myself. Find a reason in somebody else. Want somebody else. And I know. Ooh, and you see me up, and you see me down, and you see me rise and come up again. Don't have to watch the world in flames. And that's what I break, but not your name. Oh no. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah,
Pleased to stop by.
yeah. We made a piece of merch for you.
I love that. I
Jack.
love that a lot.
Live music,
That's really good stuff.
2025.
You think that probably goes, what do you think? 100K, maybe 150.
They were gonna auction it off at like the world's most expensive auction.
Yeah, that's coming up soon, isn't it? The world's
Yeah.
most expensive auction.
Yeah.
Where are they having that this year?
Live on Sam Tree.
Live on Sam Tree TV, the world's
Yeah.
most expensive auction. Tune in next stream for the world's most expensive auction. Auction off the IP rights.
Yeah, we put your name in the hat too, so someone might buy you.
Oh, I might be bought.
Yeah.
That might not be so bad for me, honestly. Give me a sense of direction.
Somebody else. I feel like I'm looking for the just use it. But I try to and then I abuse it, cause I just can't find balance. I need to watch the words I speak to the universe, because they got power and I gotta get what I deserve. What I speak, what I sow, what I sow, what I reap, what I sow, and I already know that I don't know how to sow. So why do I sell clothes? I don't know. Yeah, one time I met somebody, one time now they just a memory in my mind. Now they are just a memory in my mind. Everyone I know and everyone I love is just a memory away, a memory above. So the memory of me is important today. How you remember me today? I'm gonna remember what to say. I'm gonna remember what the words are when I don't got the words and I'm off of the top of my head. I'm observing. How far away is a better day, is a better day, cause I just can't seem to find it today.
Oh, how far away now? Oh, how far away is a better day? Cause I just can't seem to find it. No, 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 it said, hey now, hey now, now, how far away is a better day? I said, da 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 da, I said, hey now. Oh, how far away is a better day?
What does it mean? I don't know what it means. I just wanna. Oh, oh. Let's go. Let's go away.
Oh, Betty, won't you come back my way? You know I love you, babe. You know I love you, babe. Oh, Betty, won't you come back my way? You know I love you, you know I love you, babe. Oh, I did you wrong, I know. Oh, I made you feel so alone. But now I'm getting old in my soul. And all I want is you back by my side. I wanna feel you in my arms. Betty, I love you and I don't want you to come to no harm.
I already said that shit, but I know
At the bottom, you don't know. Already said that shit, but I know
that I just don't know. I just don't get it.
think that about wraps up.
I was gonna write Jack, and then it because it's like a jacket, and your name's Jack.
That's clever stuff.
But then it had implications outside of my intention.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. No, I see that. I see the potential pitfalls of that design approach.
So jacket.
Well, what do we have? I mean, what do we have? Do we have anything to say? Do we have any? Have we learned anything? Do we have any wisdom?
Jacket.
Because I'm feeling really low on wisdom right now.
Yeah, I gave all mine to the homeless guy.
I've been taking my wisdom, gathering up all the wisdom I have in the morning, going right into AI, giving all of my wisdom to AI so that it can proliferate that wisdom to people across the globe.
Yeah.
And that's easily 4 or 5 hours every morning. And then I do squats. And then I usually just eat and go to bed. It's usually my regular schedule.
Yeah, I've been trying to train my brain to be more attracted to AI. So,
Why?
So I force myself to look at iRobot,
like you watched iRobot with
no,
with
they're
Will Smith.
they're making adult videos that are robots.
You're
just
watching
so you can
AI
train your
porn?
brain to respect the robots more.
What does that look like? Where are you finding this?
It's iRobot.com.
iRobot.com, is that a real website?
Maybe.
If I type that in, will it be the Will Smith movie?
There's a version of Will Smith.
I will say that character from the Will Smith movie has had a lot of cultural staying power. You know that robot?
The robot image, yeah, that one's stayed around.
Much more so than the movie itself. I feel like just the image macro of that robot guy has had a pretty...
Will Smith is good at being the last guy on Earth.
He did,
I Am Legend, iRobot.
He's not the last guy on Earth.
No, but everyone else is they're
But he's the last stand.
Yeah,
He's the last guy who can do anything.
The last representative.
Now, After Earth is actually his son is the last guy on Earth. I don't know if he's in After Earth necessarily.
So you could be that guy, and you're still gonna.
What do you mean?
End up slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars, man.
I don't think he should have done that. I'm gonna weigh in. I've been biting my tongue for a long time. I know everybody wants to know how I feel about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. I went back and forth for a long time. I'm starting to think it might not have been the right idea.
Yeah. I disagree. I think you should slap people as always.
We should slap people more. How do you feel about spanking? Should we be spanking people?
Yeah, it's a weird one because it was completely normal, and then it was if you do that, you lose your kids. But then as you become more of an adult, spanking can become reintroduced into your life in a different context. So it's.
You're talking in a sort of.
No, I'm not talking about anything. Right? It's a family show. All right.
Well, you're the one steering it to weird spank fantasy stuff, man. I don't want to talk about that at all.
But I don't know. I feel like hitting kids is it's not a good option, but it's the result of people having no other ability to get their point across.
Is that true though, or is it that they don't recognize their ability?
Both are true.
I mean, does a kid really force you in a position where spanking is the only option, or is there always a better way?
Well, that's what's so funny about kids. Anytime someone's mad at a child, it's I feel like it's one of the worst archetypes of people. You're just failing.
You're failing, right? Simply having the... But then it's not Now, I'll say this. I think most people who strike kids do it out of anger. I think it's usually that parents have a sort of impassioned, overly emotional response and lose their ability to actually carry out the proper conduct. But at the same time, that's not everybody. I feel like there's definitely people who have spanked kids not because they wanted to and are just sick. Or just lose their temper, but because they think it's part of some methodical.
Yeah.
They just think it's the correct approach, and it's a disimpassioned act. I don't think that makes it better or anything. I just think there's different reasons behind why parents do it. Of course, behind both of those, though, whether it's a sort of immediate act of I'm so mad at you, or if it's I've got to spank him, that's the thing that's to be done. Both operate from the assumption that it's okay to hit kids and that it can be beneficial to them. I think there's science suggesting that isn't the case.
So we're going to go on record and say we're against the harming of children.
I think, let me run it by my team. Because I want my team to look over that statement.
How do you feel about the slipper?
The slipper?
Yeah,
is it hitting the kid with the slipper?
Yeah, it's a very big
Is it a plastic slipper?
It's a big cultural thing.
Well, I don't want to weigh I want to weigh in on a cross-cultural debate, and then, everyone's like, who's this white guy saying I can't hit my kid with a slipper?
The slipper it's a staple. in the
Is
beating child arsenal.
in the genre of child.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of in the range of like, all right, this can't do serious damage, you know, so it's kind of like free range.
Well, if it's a foam slipper, I mean, I think that's probably. No, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't be hitting the kids, man. Maybe we just shouldn't be doing it.
Because with the slipper, it is more about the action than the harm. You can't really hurt someone with a slipper.
Well, the problem is if you're a parent,
you can't use it as a brutal
if you're a
weapon.
parent, it's your job. You're sort of instructing your child in moral behavior, not just so that they'll be moral, but to prepare them for the world. And ideally, you're teaching them lessons that will be useful to them as they're autonomous adults. And in the real world, you don't just get, like, when you annoy someone, they don't have the right to just slap the shit out of you. So I don't know why we would be teaching kids that's permissible. Certainly, I mean, arguably, you're teaching that there's consequences
You're
of some
saying
kind.
is if someone's acting in a way that I don't agree with, I shouldn't just hit them?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, it's the, to each their own, and obviously we're coming at it from different spaces. I don't want to. I also believe you shouldn't tell people to do anything ever. So I don't know how that comports with raising children at all, because a lot of raising children is actually about telling them to do things.
You don't have to, though. Like,
well, you kind of do, though, right? Because I mean, there's a practicality. Like, you got to get out of the car. Like, I'm not leaving you in the car. You know what I mean? We got to get out of the car. And the child's like, I don't want to leave the car.
Well, then just leave him in the fucking car.
Well, you can't just leave your kid in the car.
He'll figure it out.
He won't necessarily. I will say this. You're right in that more of the time than we think, just letting the kid do what the kid wants to do is probably the correct approach. Like, I think absolutely parents are far too, or a lot of parents are far too concerned with controlling the child, and that's not actually how, sometimes control has to be exercised relative to protecting the child.
In an attempt to ingrain us with all of their positive traits, we end up just inheriting nothing but the negative ones.
that doesn't happen. Well, it probably does happen all the time.
It does happen a lot. You need to do this because you need to be like this. And then it's like, not only do I completely reject the idea of being like that, but now I'm also...
It's one of the oldest conundrums in the human race, right? Because ultimately, in order to rear the child and protect it and keep it safe, you're going to have to occasionally instruct it in ways that might not be the ideal form of instruction, right? At some point, you're gonna be like, I just gotta yell at this kid because it's more important to get him out of the car right now than is any other lesson. Like, there's just a practical. But I don't know. I mean, there's always, I guess in every given situation, there's always a best way of navigating it. But I do think as a parent, you're sort of consigned toward, you can do the best and greatest job, but, it's a minefield, and you're going to occasionally do things that are disruptive to the child's development, even if you thought in the moment it was constructive, just because, you're putting the data in and you're getting the data back, and there's kind of a delay between how you see your actions are impacting the child, and so.
Yeah, tone is an interesting one, like raising your voice. Because on one hand, I feel like if you never raise your voice, then if someone was like yelling at that child, they might like have a panic attack, but maybe not.
Right. I mean, you're not trying to necessarily insulate your child from harsh realities as a parent, but at the same time, you're also not trying to train your child to anticipate cruelty or extreme reactions from their loved ones and support system. The trick here, though, is also, like, you can't just yell at your child for, like, every stupid... Like, there's a proportion thing. There's a scale to how you dole out punishment. I would say probably most parents get it wrong there, is that they overreact to certain behaviors and underreact to certain behaviors, and they probably find it difficult to keep a sort of log line of, like... Because you're not a mathematician when you're parenting a kid. You're not constantly thinking, well, I reacted to this in one way, therefore logically my reaction to this behavior should be slightly elevated or slightly more subdued. Like, that's sort of ideally how you should be thinking about it. But the reality is so much of parenting is reactionary and, like, emotional, and you're kind of just intuiting what the best response to the kid would be. And a lot of the times I think what happens is maybe the child has a confused sense of what the punishment and discipline system is, where it's like, well, I did this one thing and nothing happened, but then I did this minor thing with the dishes and my parents yelled at me.
That's so big. Like, having functional frameworks, like, when we fail to do that, it makes a kid's brain literally just be like, okay, well, my inputs have no effect on the output.
Exactly. And at that point, the respect for authority dims.
Yeah.
And you don't want your child to respect authority. And that's how it's supposed to be, because you don't want your child to respect authority unconditionally.
Totally, yeah.
You want your
child to respect authority when authority is demonstrating that it is acting in the best interest of the child, and part of that contract is about behaving in ways that are proportional to your other behaviors, or that so if you're going to discipline them, they better have known what the consequence was going in. You know what I mean? They better have. You better have instructed them in the proper behavior. They better understand why. I mean, really, it's just that it's that parenting is a constant evolving dialogue you're having with your kid, and if you fail to communicate adequately why they shouldn't have done the thing they did, or like if you are struggling to communicate it, that's not really the kid's fault, and you shouldn't be punishing them because you failed to communicate something.
Do you feel like the parent should adopt the responsibility of being the arbiter of harshness of reality, or is like reality able to do that on its own, and you should more so just support them?
Well, look, if I'm reading a kid a book, and there's a sort of like a passage in the book where something hard happens to one of the characters, right? They get hurt. I don't then push my child like to demonstrate what the character is going through. You know what I mean? It's like I'm nurturing in that instance like the child's ability to understand. I guess what I'm saying is to understand a concept. You don't necessarily have to be like visceral in your or physical, say, in your communication of the idea. Certainly, it is your job. It's the only job, right? To offer the child all the necessary ideas and behaviors and understandings that you can offer them in order to prepare them for whatever might come at them in the world. And one of the basic things that's going to happen to you in the world is terrible things are going to happen. Like, that is true. Like, it is. But it's not that you need to therefore... Because here's the thing. Like, you going through something terrible does not necessarily mean that you are going to be protected from it happening in the future, right? Like, a lot of people... you go to war, right? And you come home with PTSD. It's not like you're now better equipped to be at war because you have PTSD. Like, you know what I mean? You've actually been, like, that experience might have weakened
there's side effects of it, yeah.
Now, there is behaviors that
There's damage that can be done.
There's damage that can be done. And you're trying to help develop the muscles. I mean, it's the same as, like, physical exercise, right? Like...
Yeah, I mean, on that note, I'm thinking about sports. Like, sports is such a great... Like, and that...
Yeah, because it's the body. It comes back to the
and
basic
it's bigger
metaphor
than, like, if you're a parent, it's bigger than your own understanding. Like, it's just reality. Like, if you're good at sports, you're good at sports. If you lift weights, you get stronger. If you run more, you get fat. Like, it's so foundational.
But if you tell your kid, here, you're 8 years old. It's basically like if you hit, like, an 8-year-old in a serious way. It's like trying to get an 8-year-old to lift, like, a 350-pound bar. Like, it's just gonna... You can't break your kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might want to condition them for harshness, but you can't break them, and it's very easy to not break permanently, but damage a developing psyche in a serious way when it begins to expect cruelty or damage from its loved ones. Like, you don't... Because the thing is, yes, the world is going to be terrible, and, people are going to die, and you're going to decay and age, and it's going to be fucked up, and there's got a lot of terrible stuff you're going to experience. But one thing you want the human to have in life is a support network and some relationships that they can develop trust and faith in, where sure, I mean, in your marriage maybe there's dark things are going to be said, maybe there's going to be pain and hurtfulness, whatever, but the baseline that you should expect from the relationships you create as an adult are I want people in my life who are good to me and who are good for me and who I'm good for and good to, and if you teach the kid that their close relationships can include that kind of like can include violence, you could be setting them up for like some pretty ugly patterns down the line. So I guess it's a very rambling way of saying it, but you want to educate the child about the realities of the world, but you don't need to enact or embody those cruelties in your relationship to them.
You die a hero.
It's like you can point to the Eye of Sauron without, like, being a ring wraith. That was such a stupid fucking metaphor.
When did Doctor Who fall off?
Well, it would depend who you ask, because some people still like it. Well, I don't know if I want to go on recorded. I don't want to know if I want.
That's too
If I want
high to take.
recorded history, knowing that I have an encyclopedic knowledge of Doctor Who. Well, I think people would disagree. I mean, you know, it's a long running show. It's been on since '63. It took a break from '89 to 2005, albeit with a TV movie that came out in '96. It's had multiple showrunners, executive producers. It's had over like 15. It's had at this point 13 to 15 lead actors.
All right, can we do a segment where I show you the different doctors, and you 60 seconds rate? You just give a rate.
I feel like this is gonna ruin my reputation. Someone's gonna find this in years and be like, "Wow, dude, you're not a cool guy." But yeah, sure, I'll gladly do it.
All plug this in real quick. How many did you say there are?
It depends technically how you define it, but sort of 15.
In order.
One guy technically did it twice, and they retroactively inserted John Hurt into it, but he didn't ever actually play the lead role. Same for Joe Martin.
We're deep in the Reddit thread of Doctor Who to get this picture. This was actually posted by you.
What's going on behind?
There we go. Okay, this is the first one right here. Do you know anything about him, or is this way too
Yeah.
far
Well, hold on.
back?
So it hasn't pulled up on the screen yet. So there's a delay.
Yeah, it'll be
But the-
faster.
But the first one is. Do you want me to move over?
No, I mean, you can sit wherever.
Alright.
I don't mind.
So he's right here. Well, this is this is William Hartnell. This is Billy Hartnell. He played the role from 63 to 66, I believe, and departed toward the beginning of the 4th season. And I like him a lot. He's, he's sort of, in some ways, a proto-version of the character, because a lot of the traits that would kind of come to be associated with the character don't really emerge until the sort of next 2 actors to take on the part. But at the same time, there's a lot there that that does sort of serve as the template for the character going forward as early as here. One is he's got this. He tends to get remembered as the kind of old man version of the character because he was sort of, as the show was originally conceived, he was more of a grandfatherly type, sort of space grandfather type of character, as opposed to the more swashbuckling adventurer that he would eventually become. But that doesn't mean that like he isn't. So he gets remembered as that way, as being a little bit more stern and more serious. But in fact, like he brings this thing to the character where he's very impish and he's very sort of mercurial and charming, and clever and funny, and all these things that actually do stay with the character progressively throughout the rest of the show. So there's a lot to credit him with. He's very fun to watch. He's always getting words wrong. He's not always doing it, but he's always flubbing lines. I think some people, there's a little bit of that having to do with his memory, which was failing at the time. But also, you could only do 2 takes back then.
Yeah,
so.
is this like black and white TV?
This is black and white TV. This would be, this is black and white, BBC One. And the show won't go into color until 1970 in its 7th season. But even then, a lot of people watching TV in Britain at the time wouldn't have had color TVs. So it takes a few more years before that becomes the full-on norm. But basically, I would say that the First Doctor is a great character. He's a lot of fun. The Gunfighters is a particular favorite of mine. I recommend it. Obviously, very slow compared to our modern stuff. But the 60s stuff does have this kind of weirdness and experimentalism that you don't find as much as the show develops.
So this is the 2nd Doctor?
That's the 3rd. That's John Pertwee's the 3rd. You're missing out.
So Reddit.
Patrick Troughton. I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Troughton.
Is he in this?
He's listed after
Okay.
the 3rd guy. There he goes. Yes. No, you brought him. Yes, there he is. That's the guy. This is Pat Troughton. He.
Do you know how people reacted to switching the Doctor?
Well, it had never been done before. There were some, there's some newspaper clippings some archival stuff where a few people were like, "We don't like this guy. Bring the old dude back. You've removed our lovely children's hero and replaced him with this clown." But generally, ratings actually held. It had some ratings issues in the coming seasons, but it held initially. William Hartnell's health was failing, and he was also just butting heads with producers, so they kind of ousted him. They just sort of it's not very dramatic. He just kind of drops dead at the end of the story, and then and he just there's like weird flashing light, this strange eerie sound, and his face just changes into this guy, and
I don't like those lazy.
It's not, but it's a very magical, weird moment. It's very weird, and it's cool. So Troughton comes in. He takes a little bit to find his performance. He pitches the character as a lot more. He's very finicky. He's very nervous, and he plays the performance like he's pretending not to be the smartest guy in the room, but then slowly is kind of playing everybody into space. A lot of the sort of central elements of the show really emerge at this point, like the kind of. William Hartnell was fighting monsters, but like the classic formula of like they land on a planet and it's fucking. It being invaded by robot people. That really kind of settles in at this period. It's a great performance. He's probably the best actor to have played the part in its original run across its first 26 years. But, in my mind anyway, but the character still hasn't totally centralized into... he's not doing a lot of action. But I really like this. I really like this Doctor, and I'm a big fan of The Mind Robber. Is a great one. As well as Enemy of the World. There's a lot of missing episodes from the first 2 Doctors because the BBC had a habit of wiping reels back then.
So it's lost media.
So there's a lot of lost media associated with these first 2 eras. But by the time you get to the 3rd Doctor, that's no longer a problem. And this is the third Doctor. This is John Pertwee. The show goes.
So this is the final Doctor after this one, or final Doctor until after this one. We're gonna do speed round. We got 60 seconds of Doctor.
Oh, okay.
But I like how we're building the foundation here.
Okay,
You know,
cool.
This is good.
I mean, we can go 60 seconds right now.
Nah, but he's a good one. I've seen him. This is what showed me the world of British public funded.
Episode.
Yeah, and that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Yeah,
so.
it's funny because it's actually probably terrible. But as is pretty much all the show, which I'm still very fond of. This is John Pertwee. He's sort of he comes in. The Doctor's exiled to Earth. The show changes pretty dramatically. It's a lot more. It's a lot less weird. It's a lot like sort of other sci-fi shows that were on at the time for a second anyway. Because he's working with like this military organization. Anyway, suddenly the character's a lot more of an action hero. He's less nervous. He sort of stands up straight. He's confident. He's got a little bit of James Bond in him. He's weirdly sort of like an old-fashioned statesman, but also a glam rocker at the same time. He's cool. Suddenly the Doctor's cool in a way he wasn't before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this guy was pretty slick.
He's slick for sure.
And did they always have like the love interest going on?
Well, it's never really a love interest. The Doctor's, especially in this original run, is usually played as vaguely asexual. But this time with John Pertwee, there are kind of hints of him liking the female attention a little bit, and certainly you can see in the performance that he likes having the plucky young beautiful assistant. And that model of the Doctor and a woman companion, and just 1-to-1, having the two of them as the show's sort of central anchors, that sort of cements here as well, and it's the general model for the show going forward. Before Pertwee, there was usually a couple companions, and usually a man and a girl.
Okay.
But he's great. He's slick.
We are now on to the speed round.
All right, hit me. I can't believe that we're recording this. This is gonna ruin me, man. This is terrible.
Who's the next Doctor?
The next Doctor is Tom Baker.
I know Tom Baker.
Yeah.
And...
Yeah. So Tom's like, for a lot of people, the defining Doctor. A lot of his stuff aired on PBS in America, so a lot of Americans really associate the show with him. And he was just a massive smash hit. Suddenly the Doctor is, he's all the things that he's been in the previous incarnations, but now he's funny too. Like, I mean, they've always been funny, but now he's zany and he's out there and he's weird, and he's spacey, and it's just this iconic performance. Like, he's and he gets more exaggerated as he goes, like as the seasons go on. He leans more and more. He's always just going like, just kind of making weird faces. He's a weirdo, would I think be the and he's just very and this is true of Pertwee as well. But they're just very different types of people. Like he's barely fucking acting. You know what I mean? He's kind of just like he's the nut, and they put a camera on him, and he's often the most interesting thing about the stories he's in, to my mind. And he's in it forever. He does like 7 years.
All right, who's our next Doctor? This guy?
No, it's the middle guy with the hat.
51. This guy?
Yeah, the order on that thing is pretty random.
It's ordered by birth year. It looks like. This guy.
Yeah, that's Pete Davidson.
That's Pete Davidson.
Pete Davison. There's no D.
Pete Davison. Okay.
This is Pete Davison. The whole idea was Tom Baker had been in the role a really long time. They wanted to bring somebody in who brought a different energy. So he comes in and the zaniness is gone, the spaciness is gone. Suddenly he's he's almost like a human being. He's very personable. He's frustrated. He's the youngest Doctor they've cast up to this point, which kind of sets the template for what they'll do when you get to the 2000s, when they get a lot of younger guys play the role. So he's pretty, but he sort of plays it like an old man. He's grumpy a lot of the time. I personally associate the 80s with a sort of downturn in the quality of the show. Other people disagree, but it's a relatively commonly held opinion. But I think he's great. He's I'd put him below the first four, but I do like him, and I like some of the stories he's in. A lot of the stories just get a little too grim. There's always people who are just being shot and stuff, and stupid, awful-looking space stations. But it's a strong performance, and he's probably the second best actor to play the role, frankly, in that original run after Troughton.
All right, who do we got next?
Colin Baker, who is wearing the weird rainbow coat there.
What a coat.
Yeah.
All right.
I hate to espouse the conventional opinion. A lot of people sort of associate Colin Baker with not maybe being the greatest or the most iconic performance in the role. The truth is he hits it at a bad time in terms of the show's funding and public sentiment wasn't at a great place. They were trying to cancel it at this time. It's been on for like 20 years, so it's not doing as hot as it's been done. He plays it very aggressively and like very pompously, and he's a little, he's kind of a prick. Is kind of the concept. They were gonna sort of slowly ebb him out of that performance over time, but the BBC ends up basically demanding a replacement for him 2 seasons in. So he never really gets to mature in the role, maybe in the way that he should. There are things I like about him. He can be very funny. I like the stupid rainbow coat that a lot of people hate.
So he wore that in the show.
All the time. It's just awful rainbow coat, just really like a shock to the senses. There are things I like about him. He can be funny. I like that he talks in a very pronounced way, but he's definitely, it's in my mind, the weakest of the original Doctors.
I wonder if he
Sorry,
provided,
Colin.
I wonder if he provided the rainbow coat.
He did not. I think he wanted to play it.
This guy's next?
This is Sylvester McCoy. Yeah, this is Sylvester McCoy, lucky number 7. He comes in. He's the last Doctor of the original run before the show's finally canceled and hits its first sort of hiatus wilderness period. It's funny because a lot of the things that people associate with this Doctor are sort of defined after the fact, because he was the Doctor when the show was off the air as well, right? So it gets canceled and there's all the spin-off media and all these books and stuff, and he's the face of the show for all the time it's off the air. And now when the show's off the air, a lot of that media starts portraying the Doctor as darker than he really was in the show. And so people think of him as being kind of like this mastermind Doctor. But in the show, he's not really that, not that much anyway, depending on the episode. He's funny, he's clown, he can be the clown, but he can also be sinister, he can be brooding, he's Scottish. He has a lot of, I don't think he's as strong an actor as some of the earlier people who have taken on the role. But there is a charm to him, and he's a good sort of children's hero to my mind. I like him. I'd put him above Colin. Sorry, Colin.
This guy?
No. Although it'll be weird in a second. We're looking for Paul McGann, who's to the right. Yeah, there. Exactly.
I don't like him. He looks like Snape.
He does look like Snape. That's Paul McGann. So the show's canceled in 89. In 96, there's an American co-production they're able to kind of put together, and they cast Paul McGann in the role. So there's not very much of Paul McGann because they don't pick the show up after it. So he's just in this one television movie. So he's a little bit hard to kind of get a pin in terms of what his characterization is. But he's cool. He's fun. He gives this performance. He's very breathy. He's very enthusiastic and kind of romantic. He kisses a girl for the first time in this incarnation. They kind of start playing him as a sort of dashing, I guess, Edwardian hero. It's one accusation that gets leveled at this TV movie and this performance is that it's almost like what Americans imagine Doctor Who was like. And that's why he's dressed up in the frock, which, it's like all like very British seeming. And I'd agree with it a little bit. But he's cool, I like him too. He's not at the top of the pile, and there's not enough of him to really get the great judgment. But he's got a very sonorous voice, and he's fun.
All right, who's next? This guy?
Technically, not really. It's confusing, but technically the next guy is the shaved head dude. There, yeah, this is Christopher Eccleston.
It's completely different. I can tell where the UK fashion was at this time. What is this like?
Right, so this is 2005,
Yeah.
and Russell T Davies brings the show back, and the whole idea is like we're gonna do it as like we're gonna make this like a real drama. You know what I mean? Like because he was a childhood fan of the show, we're gonna make it popular and make people forget about. Because the sentiment around the show is like, the old show with the crap monsters and the crap sets, right? At least that was a lot of the public sentiment. He was like, we're gonna get people back on this. And so they cast a serious actor, Chris Eccleston, who was doing a lot of great dramatic work. And he plays it very differently. He's wearing a leather jacket. He's got the shaved head. You can tell immediately from the look that they're going for something trendy and different. And he's rougher, and he's northern, which is, not something that any of the Doctors had been. They had all spoken with, I think, received pronunciation, so they sounded very posh. He's fucking great. He's a tremendous actor. He does a tremendous job. And he's only there for a season, but you really bond to the character, and it's a totally new way of doing it. He's tremendous. He's top of the pile. He's great.
Wow.
He's great.
Who do we got next?
We have David Tennant, who's right there. Yeah. David Tennant. David Tennant is sort of like the Tom Baker of the second run of the show in the sense that he's like the most ubiquitous one. Like he's the guy everybody recognizes. He's so well praised. It's hard to find. He's very cute. He's very romantic. He's kind of geek chic. He's always kind of like, his smug, very smug performance really. But he's a great actor. He's a tremendous he's a tremendous guy. I mean, like, in some ways he's the conventional favorite, and in that way I almost want to turn against him and be like, he's too much of this or too much of that. He's always crying. Well, actually, not as much as the guy we'll get to later, but yeah. I mean, I don't know if I have anything to say about David Tennant's Doctor Who performance. It was iconic. People loved it. Women loved him. He was a total heartthrob in the role. They make the Doctor a lot more romantically coded in this era of the show as well. So, nothing really to say. It's good. Not quite yet. We're going to. There we go. We're going to Matt Smith. Why are we doing this?
This is the best stuff we've gotten all day.
All right, here's Matt Smith. He takes in the role after David Tennant. Big shoes to fill, right? Because David Tennant had been this like national like figure. Like people knew him and people loved him. And there was this question of like, what can the show keep going? Because keep in mind at this point the new show had only been 4 seasons old, and and so there's a turn of showrunner as well. Stephen Moffat takes the helm. Matt Smith's great. He was the youngest actor ever cast in the role when he was done. He was 26 when he entered it, or 27 maybe. And he's very zany. He's got a Chaplin-esque quality to him. He's always moving his hands. He gesticulates a lot. I think the performance gets a little bit more exaggerated as it goes on as well, and he starts relying on some shticks. But he's so funny, so physical. He's always flailing around. What people usually say about him is that he was particularly good at selling the idea of the old man in the young man's body, and that you'd have these occasional tender scenes where he would suddenly just kind of like turn his eyes in this way and really come through. He's so great. I think Matt Smith is probably, I would personally put him above David Tennant. Most might disagree.
Who do we got next?
We have Peter Capaldi, who's the gray-haired.
This guy?
No, the other. Go back to that guy.
Yeah, I mean, where's he been?
So this guy isn't like a real doctor, so to speak.
He doesn't even get a
It's like a flashback episode. Sort of, it's confusing.
It's fake.
Time travel thing. But he's played by the legendary actor John Hurt, and he appears for one episode where you find out he was a sort of secret incarnation. And it's a great performance, but there's not much to say about it. He never led the show, so there's not that much.
It only takes one episode to be a doctor.
Well, it's not a normal. It's an aberration from the norm. All right, there we go. Peter Capaldi. So Peter Capaldi takes over in 2014. He takes over from Matt Smith. Part of the idea was like, okay, for the new show, we've had all these young guys. Younger, prettier guys, right? It's like, let's maybe return to back some of the sauce from the old show and have an older, more enigmatic figure playing the role again, which was seen as kind of a less populist move. And I mean, he's so cool. Some people I think fell off during this period of the show. It had been back for 10 years, and I think some people maybe had been tiring or didn't like the older guy in the role. But he's probably the actual best actor I think who ever played the role. Like I think he's just actually the most talented and capable guy. He's got such a range. He's always kind of reinventing the role episode to episode. He's got this wonderful low Scottish voice. He's kind of spooky, and he can. Personally, for me, I find him very compelling because he's kind of like a hybrid of the old way of doing the character and the new way of doing the character, and it really works. It really works for me. I'm a big fan.
How many doctors we got left here? Two.
So we've got Jodie Whittaker next, who's right there. Jodie Whittaker takes over, I think, 2017? Maybe I got that. I might have that wrong. But I think takes over at Christmas 2017. She's obviously the first woman cast as the Doctor, which was kind of a switch up. I'll avoid the politics of that. A lot of people have, over the past sort of 10 years, accused the show of going woke and have their opinions about that. I don't think that that's fucking real. I don't care about that very much at all. What I do think is that the writing during this period of the show is not to my taste. I don't find... Chris Chibnall was the showrunner during this period, and I just personally doesn't really resonate with me or do very much, and I find that the characterization of the Doctor here is not, to me, as effective as it normally is. It feels in some ways a little bit more mild-mannered and reactive. She does have that nervousness thing that she kind of brings back from Troughton way back, which hasn't really been in the New Doctors, and I like that. She's great. She does a good job, and she seems like a great ambassador for the show. I really like her as an actor, but this incarnation just doesn't really work for me, personally.
So this is the last Doctor.
Yes.
Is he still the Doctor right now?
No, he left, but the new one hasn't been announced, or it's like a weird nebulous thing that I don't feel like explaining. And Ncuti Gatwa, or I don't know if it's Ncuti or Ncuti, but you might recognize him. He was in Sex Education. He was one of in Barbie as well. He most recently played the role. He did 2 seasons in it, right when the show was embroiled in this big co-production deal with Disney, which is now fallen apart. I think everyone was hoping it would be more of a hit than it was, but it didn't super pan out that way. Is maybe the sense that I've gotten. He's very, so he plays the Doctor as this kind of very extroverted, lovely, wonderful, very emotive man, and it's like, it's very different than what other people have done in the role. Usually the Doctor's played as a little more cagey and coy, or sort of either socially awkward or just sort of socially distant, and it's, like this one's like, we'll give you a big hug. It was a new take with the character. I'm sure it resonated with a lot of people. I liked it. I think he's an effective actor, but it's not my favorite portrayal either.
I mean, it sounds like, do you have a list ranking of the Doctors? Do you know your top 5?
I feel like it changes all the time, but if I had to rank, can you zoom out on this?
Yeah, I'm trying to let me get all the Doctors here.
I just feel so bad. Like, I don't want Jodie Whittaker or Gal to like see this and be like, he's such a fucking asshole. They did it, and they all have their fans.
We're trying to land on UK TV next week. This might be the first segment. Alright, that's too small. There's your Doctors. They should be on the TV in a second.
Okay. All right. This has been really mortifying to have to do. Okay. Here's how I'm going to rank him. I'm going to give my number 1 spot to Peter Capaldi, who's the 12th Doctor. I'm going to give him, he's my favorite Doctor Who.
So Peter...
he's the gray hair toward the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I keep going, or are you going to do
anything?
anything?
Keep going.
I'm going to give my second spot to... Let's give it to Tom Baker, let's give it to Tom, number 4.
I like Tom.
We're going to give my third spot to Matt Smith.
Matt Smith.
My 4th spot to Troughton, number 2. My 5th spot to Eccleston, number 9.
So you're ready to go on this, huh?
My 6th spot to... Let's do John Pertwee is going to get my 6th spot, who's number 3. Am I going too fast?
Yeah.
Should I slow down?
Who's at number 3?
Oh, hold on. I'm so confused now. Where are we even at? I don't even remember how I was listing them.
We got 1 and 2 right here.
Right. So number 1 is number 12. Number 2 is number 4. And then I said for 3, I gave it to. I think I gave it to Matt Smith.
Yeah.
I think I gave it to Matt Smith. We'll give it to Matt.
All right, who do we got at 4?
Number 4. It's funny because I just did this.
Just give me a strong top 5. You already got to 6.
4 is Troughton. Who's number 2.
What a picture. I gotta watch an ad to download this picture. What do you feel like makes this guy number 1?
For me personally, it's, and I alluded to it earlier, it's the synthesis of all of the different ways of doing the character that had come before, because he's got a lot of the kind of tropes and conventions of the new show, where in a sort of strange way, he's kind of a romantic lead, not really, but he has like a very interpersonal relationship with the companion, so there's a lot of drama there in a way that you wouldn't find in the old show, which was much more just kind of about adventure. But he's also got that thing that the old Doctors have, where he's just like, he feels spooky. He feels like something that would walk out of a black and white picture, and so he can be funny and he can be lovely, but he's got this grittiness and this coyness that really makes the characterization work for me. He's also just in some great stories. He has he's just in some great stuff. I'm a big fan of Listen. I'm a big fan of Dark Water. I'm a big fan of Last Christmas. I'm a big fan. A lot of the finales there. Heaven Sent, Hellbent, The Doctor Falls, Mummy on the Orient Express. I mean, he's got a lot of stories that I just think are really, really good. And yeah,
I feel like
personally, a lot of people don't. Everyone's got a lot of very different opinions on this.
this looks like a good list. Do you feel like wait, who was number 5 again?
I think I was between Pertwee and Eccleston. Let's give it to Eccleston.
So that's a switch. Yeah, you said Pertwee last time.
They're probably duking it out. I appreciate I don't have to go all the way down. I don't want to rank the ones at the bottom.
No.
And I want to emphasize, every one of these guys is loved by somebody, and I don't want to be a hater.
Do you feel like the OG's getting disrespected here?
I actually think my top 5 is all right. I've got 2 OGs in there. So
No, I'm talking about the OG. Where does he rank?
Hartnell?
The first of all.
I do really like him, but he's probably toward the end for me just because it isn't like my. I think it's great, but it's not my favorite of any of these. I'd put him above Colin Baker, and I'd probably put him above Goblin Whitaker, and I'd probably put him above McGann, but I think McCoy might have him. Maybe he shouldn't. I don't know.
Well, that's the list. I like it. I only know one of these guys, and the guy I do like the most isn't in here, but I like it.
This was great. Why did you have me do that?
I think it was important.
That was important. Like that was something we needed to do.
Well, the world has it now,
All right, would you say that we?
I think we've accomplished a lot.
we've accomplished what we set out to do here.
Do you have any final notes, any ways to use this platform?
Well, I hope that this doesn't come back to haunt me. Would be my first sort of thought. I hope that because it could, because I'm gonna get a call from Jodie Whittaker, and she's gonna be like, "You're a freaking asshole," and I'm gonna be like, "But you were so good in Broadchurch," and I'm gonna feel really bad about it. Yeah. But beyond that, I appreciate you having me on here, and I guess making me look like a geek, and it was fun to play a little music and jam around and hang out with Merch and just generally exist with you for a while. I'm pleased by it, man. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
All right, final note. This is something we've been asking the guests. I think I'm going to keep it consistent. What do you want to see from Sam Tree TV?
I want to see Sam Tree TV. I'd love to see more comedy, man. I feel like I'd love to see you and Merch make the people laugh, and I feel like that could be such a cool. Like I feel like you guys are funny, and that could be a good access point for a lot of people because it seems like brand recognition is being built right now, and I think laughs are a good way of getting people on board. I'd also like to see you build a jetpack.
We're working on that.
And also make a feature-length movie.
That we are actually. That's coming soon. Well, it's not a feature length. It'll be like between 20 and 30 minutes right now.
It's feature-length to me.
But I like the humor. I do think that one's tricky because that's like where it can really feel like you can really feel like a crazy person when you're in the middle of the woods talking to a mannequin.
Yeah.
And some guy walks by and they're like, "Hi," and he looks scared for his life. Or like,
and you throw the mannequin at him.
There was a Chinese couple the other day who really were digging it. They walked by and they were like, they probably totally figured it out.
They knew exactly what you were getting at. They were like, "That's Sam Tree from Sam Tree TV."
Well,
That's Merch.
Everyone else who walked by just had that like glimpse of concern, like genuine like. What did I just walk past?
Do you think young people would have that, or are young people pretty conditioned to expect weirdness?
Well, young people would be a lot quicker to pick up if they hear me talking in the woods. It's probably like to a device. I do think young people have a much bigger awareness of how much obscurity and how much of like things outside the norm are the result of the digital world. Because you can be like, why did this manifest? But like, a very good answer to that a lot of the time is because it's existing digitally. So like, there's no reason for Merch to be in the middle of the woods if there wasn't a camera. You know, some Merch in the Woods 100 years ago probably would be pretty creepy.
But you would be like, it's an angel.
Well,
All right. Well, thank you again, and
you want to play us out with the theme song?
can I get the lyrics pulled up?
Yes. I'm gonna turn the camera off too, so it's just audio. Say goodbye.